Hey guys, this is Starry from StarrySky Gaming, and welcome to this Nature DPS Weapon Mastery Loadout video and rotation. So now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go through the PowerPoints, showing you how to spec it, then I'm going to show you the loadout, and then I'm going to show you the rotation. Also there's some information I want to give on one of the powers and why I'm not using it. Okay, so let's get started and go straight to the PowerPoints. So in Floratry, I have PowerPoints in Vine Lash, Savage Growth, Thorn Blast, Briar, Harvest, Voracious Plants. And in Fauna, I have Brawl, Serpent Cool, Carnage, Rampage. And the Iconics, Tactical Genius, Weapons Expert, and then the 3 PowerPoints left over I went and put them in Nanoweave Armor, Powerful Resistance, and then I put PowerPoints in Super Strength, just for some fun, pick up some objects, go throw them, you know, it's a little bit of amusement when you're doing open world content. Okay, so now it's the loadout. Okay, so the loadout from left to right is Briar, Vine Lash, Harvest, Voracious Plants, Carnage, Rampage. Okay, so excuse me. We have our 2 damage over time skills. So we want to put these on a target, and then we use Harvest to spread it onto multiple targets. So basically it makes the dots become AoE dots. And then we have Voracious Plants. This is our spammable AoE skill, which does instant damage and damage over time. And then we have Carnage, which is going to be our really important critical attack chance and precision buff. This is very important for weapon masteries. And then we have Rampage. I gotta say, I love the supercharge. Basically what this does, it increases your critical attack chance by 25%. It increases your critical attack damage by 50%, and also the other goodies it gives is protects yourself against control effects. So basically we get CC immunity, crowd control immunity. So we're able to DPS in peace, and we're not going to be like stunned a lot, knocked down on the floor, always be interrupted, which is very frustrating when you're DPS. And also just regenerate some health over time. The effects of this supercharge last 12 seconds. So as a DPS, it's quite a long time. Plus also, if there is any ads around you when you use it, it does do like a small AoE instant damage. It's not much, but still it does do something. Now, to the point I made earlier on. Now there's probably people go, but why aren't you using Swarm? Swarm's really good. Yes, Swarm is actually really good. But there's been a recent change on the test server to the weapon masteries dealing with, I think it's called improved pets now. There's a category called improved pets, which has Swarm, Fury, all that kind of stuff. They come into this category of improved pets, and what they've done now is improved pets. Basically, I just read what they've put in the notes. They go, improved pets. Being in control of an improved pet now prevents weapon mastery superpower critical attack damage bonuses from applying. This currently affects Sorcery Fury, Guardian, and Nature Swarm pets specifically. So this pretty much means if you're using Swarm, you do your weapon mastery rotation, and then you, at the end of it, you do your power to get the critical attack bonus. This affects it and you just don't get it. So technically if you're using Swarm, this is just going to nerf your damage down. So this is why I'm using the supercharge for. Instead of just like using Swarm and not getting the mastery critical bonuses, I'm going to use a Rampage to increase my critical bonuses even more and get some CC immunity. So for me, I just love the supercharge. It's a personal preference. It works really well for me. Also, what they have said is poison spores will prevent weapon mastery critical attack bonuses happening for 12 seconds. That's why I'm using shield as well. It's a long rotation but deals a lot of high damage, and it gives you that more time for the time delay to run out, so you can still get the critical attack bonuses. Personally, I haven't seen the difference. It still seems like I'm getting a lot of good damage from it. But anyway, the mastery I'm using for this is Shield into Magnum Round, which just looks like this. It's a simple hold range. And for people who are going, yeah, but that's slow. Yes, it's slow, but it's very power efficient, and it does a lot of damage. And I ain't even got any modifiers going. Plus Magnum Round's a double hit, and this whole rotation is AoE. So it's very good on single targets, and if there's multiple targets, it's just going to do a ton of damage. Okay, so first of all, when it comes to T6 content, you want to be speccing, even though it's nature, you want to be speccing into precision. Because weapon masteries is all precision based. If you're not using weapon masteries and you're going might heavy, you're going to get out DPS by quite a bit. So even though it's nature, I would be running full precision spec. Or at minimum, I would run precision at might, at least in the reds. What else? That's pretty much about it. There is, well, obviously I'm going to get to the rotations. When it comes to T6 content as well, if you're thinking about applying dots with Bright and Vinelash, don't do them until you get to the bosses. You won't have the time to. By the time you've done like your shield rotation into Magnum Round or your weapon mastery clipped with Voracious Plants, the thing's dead. You know, by the time you would have done the dots, the other DPS would have done thousands more damage and you'd just be left behind. So don't apply dots until you get to bosses in T6 content. But when it comes to like T5 rates like Nexus, Paradox, A and B, I would still apply dots until you get to bosses, just because everything's going to be dead so quick. Okay, anyway, so first of all, let's pretend this is the boss and we're going to be doing our dots rotation. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any consumables to help me clip their animation with, so you're going to have to pretend, you know, I'm going to have to clip it eventually. Plus, also with the sparring target, for some reason, it doesn't always show up the might ticks from some of the powers. So yeah. So first of all, for these we want to use Briar, and then we want to hit, so basically this is our boss. We want to hit Briar, Vinelash. We do our weapon mastery, and then we're pretty much going to use Harvest. Now we're using Harvest for because Harvest will renew the dots, and then we keep using Harvest every now and again to keep reapplying the dots without having to constantly spam Briar and Vinelash, wasting power. Because if we're using Harvest, since they fixed it to reapply the dots, we don't need to actually reapply the dots by using the powers themselves. So literally, this is the boss, and we want to go Briar, and then we would use Vinelash and normally clip it with consumable. You would do the rotation, Magnum Round, and clip it with Harvest, and then we would straight away use Voracious Plants. And then another rotation, another Harvest, and Voracious Plants. Now, unfortunately, for some reason, the sparring targets for Leius just doesn't show up might ticks after about 2 or 3 seconds. It's like, let's Briar. You get a couple of ticks, and then it'll probably stop. It doesn't show up all of them. It's just terrible. But never mind, you get the idea anyway. And we're always going to be buffing ourselves with Carnage. We're going to save Rampage for like when it comes to bosses, or just big groups of ads and you feel like you can do a ton of damage with your weapon mastery. Because this does provide us with immunity, so it's very good for not getting stunned. So like if this comes to ads, so sparring targets a bunch of ads in like the T6 alert and so forth, we're just going to completely not apply any dots. We're literally just going to be using, well, so virtually we're going to literally buff ourselves with Carnage. And then, if there's a big group of ads, we're literally just going to use Weapon Masteries. And use Voracious Plants. And keep doing this all the way through until we get to bosses. Plus, Magnum Round does a, nice way of putting it, it does a double hit precision. It's just doing thousands of damage for like little to no power. So yeah, that's pretty much the rotation. I've shown you rotation when you come to bosses. You want to use your dots, weapon mastery, then you apply it with Harvest straight into Voracious Plants. And obviously if you've got a consumable, you can clip one of the dots or Harvest with the consumable. I just don't have any left over. Or you can clip one of them with Carnage. Either way, whatever you feel comfortable, and I've shown you kind of like what to use with when it comes to ads. I mean, you don't even have to use the shield rotation. You can quite happily use others if you're more comfortable with them. But anyway, guys, actually no. Let's quickly pop the supercharge and see what kind of damage we get from it. So let's just get a weapon master going, build up a bit. As you see, you get a lot of damage. So anyway guys, let me know what you think of this loadout. Try it for yourselves, see how you get on. I mean, I've used this loadout now in some content, which does a lot of damage and I hardly use any power. It's damage and what I've done with it just speaks for itself. But anyway, let me know what you think. If there's anything you can be improved, obviously let me know. So anyway, thank you very much for watching this, and until next time, I'll see you then.
Beware my power. Green Lantern, fly!